Hey guys, so driving home again, and I wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about. So whether or not somebody who is not an auto mechanic would need, tool truck tools, and my answer to that is if you really want them, it's your money, right? So, nice hat change, right? So, there's some debate. Don't get me wrong, tool truck tools are expensive as compared to like buying stuff at Home Depot or online. So, I have some Snap-on. I have a Mac RBRT set. Actually, I use Snap-on pliers and side cutters and stuff, or the extended side cutters. I have those, and some other like random. Oh, I have a Snap-on ratchet that's come in handy. But compared to like Klein or what's the other one, Nipex, they're comparable in quality. Are they worth the price? I don't know. Maybe some stuff is, some stuff isn't. I will say, as far as like HVAC, electricians, plumbers, whatever go, I probably wouldn't buy the tool truck tools, or what's it called, the electrical tools, or not electrical tools, what am I thinking, power tools, yeah, close enough. Electrical, they use electrons, but that's probably where I would draw the line. Not that they aren't good, but from what I've seen in my time doing this, is most guys use either Milwaukee, Makita, or DeWalt. That's it. I've only ever really seen those three brands. I think I saw Hilti once, and it was like a big old, SDS roto hammer that that they used for like drilling big holes through concrete. And that was probably before Milwaukee made anything comparable. So, other than that, that's a very small, that's that 1%, right? But, and part of it comes down to, well, your batteries. So, you're on a job site, most guys are going to have Milwaukee, DeWalt, or Makita. So if you need a battery, you can grab one off there. I think most guys I know will use Milwaukee, or most of the guys I know of, or I work with, use Milwaukee. And in my company, a couple guys, Makita. But majority you're gonna use Milwaukee. Hey, dude, I need all my batteries are dead. Let me grab a battery real quick. Okay, cool. Swap batteries, not a big deal. Oh, one guy I knew had to use it DeWalt Impact only because he found it, and he ended up just getting a cheap charger for that battery he had, and he just used that. So, but everything else he had was Milwaukee. Other than that, I wouldn't buy. Don't get me wrong, those Snap-on impacts and ratchets are nice, but not really. I have an Milwaukee electric ratchet. I really don't use it when I'm working on my car. I don't really feel the. It has come in handy a couple times. That's the only reason I keep it on my truck, is because, well, it has its uses. But other than that, I rarely use it. But like going back to like hand tool sockets and stuff, if you want to buy them. It's your money. Do what you want with it. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to be like, oh, that dude, that's badass. I like the Snap-on stuff. The stuff I have is quality. It's great. I've had no issues with it. The Mac RBRT set I have, I actually haven't gotten a chance to use it yet, which is kind of a bummer. I bought it because we were going to be working on a thing and had a bunch of Allen keys that, it's outside, so they're all messed up, and so I kind of wanted it just in case we needed it, and I heard those were the best, and I didn't have any socket bit set, so I'm like, might as well just buy that one. And so I bought it. It's just sitting there now, but mean, I know I'm going to use it in the future. I just haven't used it lately. But, you know, outside of like some things, you know, from what I've heard, the RBRTs are really good. Part of the reason, well, at least where I live, you know, part of the reason I like, you know, I just ran into the Snap-on guy. You know, I just walked onto his truck, like, hey, dude, you got this? Yeah, I've been looking for this. You know, I'd like to try it. Yeah, here you go. Here's my card. Ran it. Cool. Paid for everything. I've paid for everything in full so far. So it's worked out. I don't have like a truck account or anything because I don't think they'd give you one anyway. And honestly, I'd rather just, you know, if it's something I need right now, I'll find a way to pay for it. If not, you know, I'll just save up, you know. But part of the reason I like the Snap-on guy and the Mac guy I go to anyway. I haven't really dealt with Matco because there is a guy by my house that's a Matco dealer, but I've never ran into him. Oh, I dealt with the Cornwall guy once, but he was on his way home when I ran into him, and I texted him to see if he had some stuff, and he never texted me back. So I guess he lost the sale. It's on him. But no hard feelings. Just whatever. If you don't get back to me, whatever. But the Snap-on guy I've dealt with, he's been very responsive. Like, hey, dude, like I had a random day off after a holiday. I think it was Veterans Day. And like, hey, I ordered some stuff from him, and hey, dude, did this come in yet? And he's like, yeah. And I met him. You know, he told me where he's gonna be, so I just went over there, met him. And that's usually what I do is like, if I'm in his area and I need something, like getting part, like where he usually go is like where there's quite a few supply houses. So if I'm gonna go over there, like there's Granger and RSD and stuff. So like if I'm gonna go over there, I'll be like, hey dude, you in the area? You know, maybe just see what he's got. And I always get something, you know, just to, you know, if I'm gonna go on his truck, I'm gonna buy something even if it's cheap, you know. But part of it is the guy's a cool guy. Like his name's John, and he's a cool dude. Like you know, sit there, talk to him for like 10-15 minutes, like just BS about stuff, and then he's got to go on his way. I don't want to hang him up too long, but like he's a cool dude. Like he thinks it's cool that, like, or at least my understanding, you know, he thinks it's cool that like I'm buying tools off of him, like, because all he deals with is mechanics 90% of the time. And I mean, I guess technically I'm a mechanic in a sense, but like I'm not an auto mechanic. Do I need Snap-on tools? No. I mean, I know guys that use Harbor Freight tools all the time. I have a Harbor Freight set of impact sockets. Well, they're metric. I bought them to work on my truck a long time ago, and I used it that one time. I never used them since because I honestly don't really use metric. And it's funny because I talked to him about that. And I'm like, you know, it's like I don't use metric very often. I might run into an 8 or 10 millimeter bolt. Usually 10 millimeter bolt on like Belimo actuators and stuff like that. And other than that, everything, 99.9% of what I use is standard. So it's not really like I have metric sockets just because, you know, I have them, but I don't need them. So, and I have some random metric Pittsburgh wrenches because I needed them for something, and that's was the closest thing to me was Harbor Freight. So, but I think it was Oil Tools, I want to say. He said something where it's kind of true whether you buy from an independent tool truck or a franchise one or whatever, is like you buy from the man, not the brand. You know, and honestly, that kind of struck home to me because like you develop a relationship with a guy, you know, he's not gonna give you free shit. I mean, he might, but you know, he's gonna like treat you well. He's gonna be responsive, you know. And I have honestly no problem spending a premium on tool truck tools if it's something I can afford, you know. Like I've been looking at getting some nicer sockets. I got a gear wrench set after my I mean, not that Tecton was that great, but you know, I had a gear wrench set in my garage that I bought for $100 on Black Friday last year, and it gets the job done. I'd like to get some nicer ones. The ratchets are pretty good, but I mean, it's not like the greatest set, but it gets the job done for what I need most of the time, and it's just, like, you know, it's, maybe I'm just a little bougie when it comes to my tools. I mean, so what? My money, I can spend however I want. If I want to buy Snap-on tools, I'll buy Snap-on tools. If I want to buy Harbor Freight tools, I'll buy Harbor Freight tools, whatever. You know, don't let people, like, I mean, don't let people, like, talk you down for, like, buying Snap-on tools. Everybody that's, like, whenever I, like, hey, dude, hand me a plier, and they see it's like, oh, damn, that's not, oh, it's Snap-on. They're like, damn, son. Like, you know, they're just like, oh, cool, dude. Like, it's a nice, you know, like, I have the Snap-on, the Swedish pipe wrench. That thing is, it's nice. Like, it's come in handy, and I honestly like it better than, like, regular pipe wrenches of, like, a similar size. So, and I basically use that one almost exclusively for some, like, the smaller stuff I work on. So, like, you can't beat it, man. Like, at least that's how I'd like to try the Knipex ones, though, because, or Knipex, whatever. Like, just because they look cool, and I like buying stuff like that. But, and I would use it. Like, but that's the other thing. You have to buy stuff that you're gonna use. Like, obviously, I'm gonna use a set of pliers, and freaking fly in my truck. I'm gonna use a set of pliers and dikes, or I'm sorry, side cutters, and wire strippers or stuff like that, and maybe, you know, in a 9/16, and maybe some, like, wrenches more than I'm going to use a socket set. I have a socket sets. I have a bunch of them, unless I'm doing, like, working on some bigger stuff or what. Like, I don't really use sockets that often. So that's kind of like one of those things you kind of have to prioritize. Okay, what am I going to buy? All right, I'm going to buy some sockets. So, or I'm going to buy the stuff, you know, and that kind of goes into another thing. Like, buying tools that you're more likely to use. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, buy what you want, buy what makes you happy. I mean, don't let anybody, like, you know, talk down to you for, like, buying nice tools. I mean, one thing a guy I worked with at one of my sites, he's one of the on-site engineers, he says, he's like, tools don't cost you money, they make you money. And that kind of stuck with me. I mean, obviously you gotta, you know, if you got bills and a kid, you know, you gotta buy food and all that stuff, but, like, it's true. I mean, and if you're in the trades or mechanic, whatever, tools, yeah, they make you money. That's how you make your money. You need tools. You cannot do your job without at least some amount of tools. And, you know, obviously you're investing in your income making potential by having certain tools. I mean, there's some tools you're only going to use once or twice a year, and there's some tools that you're going to use every day, and it just is what it is. I mean, mechanics, same thing. Like, it just is what it is. I mean, but yeah, it's just something like, you know, I talk to some guys and it's like, you know, why are you spending your money on that? And, like, it's my money. What do you care? Like, actually, one of the guys, one of the apprentices we have, his brother works for one of the Snap-on guys. I actually met him before I met the guy, the apprentice we have. He's a cool dude. Like, you know, but I'm not like the kind of guy's like, oh, hey, dude, hook it up with a fucking, you know, with a discount. Like, yeah, I don't mind paying the price. Like, I understand. That's the other thing too, with tool trucks that a lot of people either are ignorant of or don't understand, is that, yeah, they cost more. And from what the Snap-on guy has told me is that, you know, they have a 30% quote unquote profit margin or revenue margin, whatever you want to call it. But out of that 30%, the guy's got to pay himself. He's got to pay for gas for the truck. He's got to use that, you know, he's got operating costs, like, especially now, like, diesel's gone up, and most of these trucks are diesel, the tool trucks, you know, depending on how much he's driving, he's like, you know, he was telling me, he's like, in the last, like, 6 months, his operating costs has tripled. Or in the last year or whatever it was, he says, like, his operating costs tripled just from diesel fuel, because it costs so much now, you know, and it sucks. But, you know, that's the reality. But, and I've told him, like, dude, I don't mind paying these prices, man. Like, you got a family, you got bills to pay. This is your chosen profession, and these are what the tools cost. And I mean, and he usually gives me a deal, or like, hey, dude, I got this box of stuff that I'm selling it for cost, or it's getting sent back to Snap-on, so, because it's just been sitting there. So, I got a couple things like that. So, I'm not gonna knock it, you know. I'm not gonna turn down a good deal, so. But yeah, so anyway, that was my little rant for the day, I guess. Maybe I'll make these a series, just like my drive home rants. So, yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. See you guys later.